Season 7, Episode 0 is here. Now, this is going to be a new special episode that I'm going to do at the start of every season, which is basically going to give you a bit of a breakdown of all the players that I'm expecting to be in our first team. They will be recorded before Episode 1, which means the transfer window is technically still open. There might be more business, but this kind of gives you a rough idea of who's going to be in the majority of the squad. And without further ado, let's jump into the first team. This is what we have for the first team. I'm going to focus on players who are still at the club, and then we'll come back to players who have left, because there are quite a few this season. So let's jump into goalkeepers. Stapps has been our number one goalkeeper now for 7 years, 6 seasons, something along those lines. 175 appearances. This might be his final season. Now, I'm not saying he's not very good anymore. I'm saying I want to start bringing in some of the youngsters. Zommers obviously is very good. He is Latvia's number one, maybe? He has certainly played for Latvia since joining us. But yeah, he is going to hopefully be replaced before the end of this season with this man. Euriscrammons is a 22-year-old. He came through our youth intake in the very first season, so he wasn't at the club to start with, I don't think, but he came in March. He's still not amazing. 2.5-star current ability, but he does have 4-star potential, still only 22 years old. I'm thinking if we start breaking him in a little bit more seriously into the first team, by the end of the season, he will be as good, if not better, than Stapps. He's already got 34 appearances in the league for us anyway, so he does know how to play football. He has done it a few times, but currently this season, he's going to be a rotation goalkeeper. I try and keep 2 players for every single position, so we've only got 2 goalkeepers. We literally don't have a third choice goalkeeper, so if there are injuries, we might be in a bit of a sticky situation. Right back, we have the boss, Kevin Bossard. He is going to be our number one right back. Broke into the first team last season. What I love about Bossard is those mental numbers. 20 bravery, 16 determination, 19 teamwork, 16 work rate as well. Physically, he's actually pretty decent. Technically, he's got a bit of work to do, but he's still only 20 years old. Weirdly, he also came through our youth intake in the second season, despite the fact that he is not even Latvian at all, as far as I know. He's, he doesn't need to. He doesn't want to. He's 100% French, but he's lived in Latvia for 714 days. The other right back that we have is David Titov, now 26 years old, signed a few seasons ago from Shamrock Rovers, or released from Shamrock Rovers, formerly of Brentford and St Pat's Athletic. He's good, he's not amazing, he's got lots of 11s and 12s. So I think the numbers look better than what they actually are because they're still quite low, but he does a job. He's played a fair few times, he gets the odd assist every now and then, so he has been relegated to second choice. On the opposite flank, we have Georgie Meiseradza, the Georgian who we signed just back in January last season. He will be our number one choice left back. 13 caps for Georgia, worth £175,000, which is actually pretty steep. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. He's not amazing. Some of his technical attributes are a little bit lacking. For example, crossing, I would like that to be a little bit higher. What he does have in his favour, obviously you can see there, is his physical attributes. Our first new signing for the season is Solomon Cafando. Now, he might be a central midfielder there, but he's actually going to be our backup left back. I'm not expecting him to play a lot of football, but we literally don't have any other left backs other than Janis Vogel, who we'll come to in a minute, but he is definitely our main choice central defender. Cafando will be our backup left back. Probably won't see a lot of him. He has cost a bit of money, but we'll cover that in episode 1. 6 central defenders is what we've got for the season, which is actually probably 2 more than I actually need. First up is big Janis Vogel, 6'2" Latvian central defender, 21 years old, 19 caps and a goal to his name as well. He has been superb. Since coming through the youth intake, I think in the first season, he's been one of our best graduates ever from the academy. I want to keep hold of him for as long as possible. You can see there though, Al Weda, who I think are from Saudi Arabia, put in an offer over the summer. I rejected it because lots of other people wanted to leave as well. We'll come to those later on in the episode. But he's only got a year left on his contract. We do need to try and give him a new one, which he's kind of refusing to do because I didn't sell him to Saudi Arabia. Alongside Vogels is going to be Frank Dow. Again, 21 years old, will be 22 on the 30th of December. 4-star current ability, 5-star potential. I think he's probably one of our better players. 94 appearances in the league, 16 goals. He's got 16 goals. A lot of them came last season as well. I think as players go and as youngsters go, Frank Dow was somebody we need to try and keep hold of for as long as possible because we can realistically build our defence around Frank Dow. Is he ever going to become Ivorian? He's already Ivorian. Latvian. 709 days, so 2 more years, and he might be able to become Latvian, which means he might get into the Latvia team. It's definitely a possibility. Our third choice central defender is Sergejs Perkons, who spent last season out on loan at Riga, playing 16 games. He's good. He's starting to get good enough to break into the first team. He's probably as good as Janis Vogel. So if Vogel does leave at the end of the season, hopefully Perkons is ready to step up and fill the place that Janis Vogel is going to leave. I think he's good. He still needs a little bit of work. Technically, he's very good. Mentally, some things let him down. Physically, again, some things let him down, but not too bad. Central defender number 4 is Irvan Sologen, who made his debut in the final episode of Season 6, picking up the Winter Trophy Cup. 19 years old, Indonesian international. I don't think he's particularly great, but he can do a job for us. He's actually going to be more of a central defender, but as you can see, he can also play as a right back as well. He's going to be sat on the bench for the most part. Euriscrammons is next up. He's got 11 appearances already for the first team. I don't think he's getting much better. He hasn't moved from this ability realistically for basically an entire season. He's all right. He's okay. I want to loan him out if we can loan him out, get him some first team football somewhere else because he's not getting it for us. Maybe if he goes out on loan for a season, he'll come back and he'll be a lot better. And finally, 16-year-old midfielder Adam Cesar is a centre-back. He is 6'1", and looking at his actual attributes, he's pretty good as a ball-playing defender. Marking is high, tackling is high, technique, first touch, heading, they're okay 9s and 10s. Mentally very good across the board. Physically also very good across the board. As I mentioned as well, 6'1", training him up as a centre-back. Only 16 years old as well, will be 17 in about a month in-game. Midfielders now. First of all, Salis Abdul Samed, a player who's been here for a very long time. I think we got him in the second season. 26 years old from Ghana. No caps, which is interesting. Is he close to being Latvian? He doesn't want to be Latvian. He can become Latvian. Please become Latvian, you'll get caps for them. You can play for the Latvia national side. A fairly consistent performer over the first however many seasons he's been here, 5 seasons or so. He is another one of the players who wanted to move to Al Weda in Saudi Arabia over the summer. We kind of rejected it because I think he's too good to lose at the moment. Still only 26 years old, plenty of time still to go in Abdul Samed's career. And I think he just holds the team well together in the middle of the pitch. He's absolutely great for us. His midfield partner for the season is most likely going to be Maris Mikulov, 22 years old, 28 caps as well for Latvia. He has spent some time out on loan in the first season, I think it was, when we just after he came through the youth intake at Meta. 119 appearances, 10 goals for us. He's got a lot better. And again, you can see in the middle, disappointed not able to join Al Fatah, a team in Saudi Arabia. For some reason, Saudi Arabia went and scouted Latvia over the summer and wanted to sign most of our players. Maris Mikulov, I think, is going to be absolutely superb for us playing as that DLP role. Is going to be Abdul Samed probably as the box-to-box. Mikulov as the DLP. That's going to be our midfield for most of the season. We do also have, however, Sergejs Kauna, 21 years old, central midfielder. Spent some time out on loan at Liepāja and Riga over his time at the club so far. I think he's good. There's certainly something there. He's just not as good as Maris Mikulov. And again, another player who might have gone to Saudi Arabia over the summer. We're moving now into the fringe players in the centre of the pitch. Roberts Frolovs is next up. Spent a season out on loan at Riga last year, playing 31 games. Actually played a lot of football for Riga. He's going to be more of a DLP, I think, is what we're going to retrain him as. Very, very good physically. Very fast, very strong. I say very strong. He's got 9 strength. Not strong. He's got good stamina. He's got good pace. He's got reasonable natural fitness. He's actually jumping reach of 12 and a 6'2" height. He's actually a bit of a big lad, isn't he? Can't header, 5 heading. But Roberts Frolovs will probably get a bit of football for us. Not a lot. Let's say maybe 10 games off the bench. Similar to Daniel Ivlevs, another player who I think, given time, he's going to get pretty good for us. But right now, he's not quite at the level. He's going to be probably a DLP with his 15 passing. I think it's probably going to work quite well. Maybe a box-to-box could also work because of his high teamwork and work rate numbers as well. But yeah, Ivlevs, again, might get 10 appearances this season, most of them off the bench. And finally, Maxims Baranovs, another young player, 17 years old, just turned 17 as well. Again, I think given time, he might get pretty good. Right now, he's not quite up to that level. He has, however, played twice for the first team over the last season, I think, is when he joined. I think he's technically our youngest ever player. Moving further up the pitch, once again, this time we're going to talk about all of the inside forwards. I'm not going to split them between right and left because some of them basically can play on either side. Chris Stapps, Stefan Hargens is the first man that we are going to discuss. He signed, I think he signed at the start of last season. Only 16 appearances, but I think he's getting close to being able to be a first-team player for us, a first-team starter. Possibly going to be kicking out Taihi over the next few months. Maybe might be rotating him and Taihi for that right-hand side position. Speaking of Taihi, this is Taihi. One good thing that I really like about Taihi is he can also play as a striker fairly naturally as well. And when we get to our strikers, you'll see why that might come in handy for us. But he's going to be mainly utilised as an inside forward on the right-hand side. Dribbling of 16 is absolutely great, which is why I got him the likes to round the keeper trait. The amount of times we've seen him run into the penalty area and then shoot from a terrible angle or something like that. I've gone, no, I've had enough of that. Take it round the keeper and don't take long shots. You always take long shots, Taihi. Stop doing it. Just run it round everybody. Onto the left-hand side, most likely, is going to be Irvan Sologen. Played a hell of a lot of football last season. A lot more than I even expected to see from Smirnovs last season. But yeah, he is going to be our left-hand sided winger for the most part. He's going to be good. I've got a lot of faith in Smirnovs. 12 caps as well for Latvia. I want to see big things from him. And just behind Smirnovs is Sergej Kapustin's, who came through our youth academy. Most players did come through our youth academy, bar anyone who isn't Latvian, basically. So, yeah, he's, again, a good option. Very, very good physically. 17 acceleration, 14 pace. He's a very quick lad. Technically is what lets Kapustin's down, but he's only 18 years old, so there's plenty of time for him to grow. Moving further up the pitch now into the striker position. Kind of. Oskar Ivanovs is a bit of an anomaly in our side. I didn't want him to be a central midfielder. We don't really play attacking midfielders too often unless we play the 4-2-3-1 formation. But we don't have a lot of strikers at the moment. So Ivanovs is currently training up to be a striker. Of all the options I had, he had the best finishing of 8. But he's also got 13 composure, 14 decisions and determination. So I think he's got some reasonable attributes there to be able to fill in as a striker when we need him. He is only 5'5", and I am trying to loan him out. So we might not see him at all this season. Not because of his height, because we're loaning him out. We're working our way up in who's most likely to be our number one strikers for this season. Our third choice striker is Irvan Sologen, who, again, he's kind of a bit of an anomaly. He's an attacking midfielder, but he can play as an attacking midfielder, as an advanced forward. He can play there. He's only got 10 finishing, but he does have some reasonable numbers. Only played 9 times for us last season in the league, but did score 6 goals. He scored a lot of goals in the League Cup. In the Winter Cup and the FA Cup, he scored a lot of goals for us. So Stapps, I think, will be good and will probably get a fair amount of football for us because we've only got 2 strikers. First up is Mihails Yurkovs, who obviously signed for us at the start. He was here when we started the save. 101 goals in 98 league appearances, left to go to Canada. Came back when his contract expired. Has already got 4 more goals to add to his tally. Another 12 appearances as well. 31 years old, so he's starting to get on a bit, but all you need to look at here is the finishing, first touch, heading. That is just ridiculously good for somebody of our level of football. He's getting paid a lot of money. He's only got a year left on his contract as well. This might be the last season we have Mihails Yurkovs, but hopefully we're going to get 30 goals out of him because we don't have our number 1 striker from last season. We do, however, have Oleg Gorks, who was our number 2 striker from last season, still only 18 years old. I have a lot of faith in Oleg Gorks. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. He loves overhead kicks as well, apparently. This is not something that I trained him, but apparently he attempts overhead kicks. I think Gorks, if we can hold on for him as long as we possibly can, he is not only going to be a game changer for us, but also for Latvia. I expect when Latvia get to a point where they're challenging to get into like World Cups and European Championships, we're going to see Gorks leading the line for them. That's my hope. Still only 18 years old and already has 45 league appearances to his name for us. And that is the squad. So there's a few names there that if you've been watching since Season 1, you'll realise there's a few names that are missing. First of all, yes, Ali Al-Makani has left. For £700,000 plus 50% of the next sale, Ali Al-Makani has left. He's gone over to England, signing for Chelsea. He's already worth £5.5 million. One thing that I didn't even consider doing. No, higher quality players, fair enough. But yes, Al-Makani scoring 24 league goals, 31 appearances last season. Overall, actually scoring 38 in 41 starts. He's going to be a massive, massive miss. But he only had a year left on his contract anyway. He wasn't going to sign anything new. I had to cash in on him basically over the summer, otherwise we would have just lost him on a free. Another big name player to leave the club is Andres Troninkovs, now 33 years of age. I wanted to sell him, or at the very least loan him out to a Latvian side. None of them wanted to come in for him, I think because he wanted too much money, so he's actually been one of the few players to move over to Saudi Arabia. There is another one as well who we'll get to in just a minute. Troninkovs, great servant for the club, 177 appearances. I would have just preferred if he went somewhere else. If he went to another Latvian side, maybe get a year or two out of them playing for, I don't know, a Ventspils or a Riga, would have been much better to build the nation. But unfortunately, Saudi Arabia is where he's gone. The other player to move over to Saudi Arabia is Valeris Sabala, 31 years of age now, Latvian striker, 63 caps, 15 goals to his name. He wasn't really playing for us. We had him for 2 seasons, 25 appearances, just 11 goals. He was alright, he did a job for us, but we kind of weren't using him, and again, he only had a year left on his contract. I thought I'd cash in, and we've actually picked up a bit of money, 240k, which is actually better than nothing. For Troninkovs as well, we got very little money, £175,000, which isn't great. You can see as well, bunch of players going out on loan to various clubs. Riga picking up 4 people, which is Saunins, Pakitis. They've also got Lizanovs and Golubevs. We've also got Valmira picking up Petuhovs, Cruz, and BT Curse, by the way, is our number 3 goalkeeper. But he's going out on loan to maybe get a season of football, which is good. Karim Diaby going out on loan to SC Gagnoa in his native Ivory Coast. And Kaspar Rybak's going to Meta. So that is what has happened. If we have a look as well at released players, Oleg Zozels. That's the only man who's gone on a free. And where's he going? Ventspils. Nice. So yeah, hopefully this episode 0 has given you a bit of an insight into what the team will be for next season. Next season's episode 0, so season 8's episode 0, will hopefully be a little bit quicker because you can just refer back to this one to see me kind of discussing in a bit more detail about how good some of the players are. But that is going to do it for this one. Next episode, which will be episode 1, as you can see, will be Partizan in the European Champions League qualifying rounds. It's going to be tough. We've already beaten an Armenian side, the same Armenian side we beat a couple of years ago. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, do please remember, hit the like button, subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I'll be back next time with episode 1, and hopefully we can get past Partizan. See you next time.